So in front of you is an example of a game that most of us have probably played at some point. And Atari produced this back, quite a while ago. So it was Space Invaders is a pretty simple concept. But what's important about this for our conversation today is on the left-hand side, you can see we've got some elements of information. It's pretty basic. We've got the two players and what their scores are. We've got the high score that we're trying to achieve. We can actually see how many lives we have, and this is maybe one of the earlier examples of infographics or having visualization, because they tell you again with pictures of 3 lives and so on. So for me, this is a great example of what standard and traditional ports could be as an analogy. It was fantastic for when this came out, and it met the lack of complexity around games that actually was there at the time, and it's all you needed, to be blunt. But it wouldn't be enough today. If you've tried to find a current version of Space Invaders, I'm sure there's a lot more things that are available to you as such. But back when it was put together, it made sense. Put that against, for me, an example of one of the games my kids play. It's a war game. That's probably not important with the conversation. But I sat down and immediately, without knowing the game myself in any detail, picked up 22, and there's actually more again, bits of information that it's sharing with us. So this is my analogy about what visualization and current reporting needs are. It's not that I'm going to be looking at the 22 pieces of information in one go. It's that I've got an ability to look on this screen, see what's going on. So, from my point of view, the information bits are I can see the other players I'm playing with. I can collaborate with them by clicking on talking to them in the game. I can see how their health is going. I can see how my health is going. I can click on a map that will show me where I am in relation to the rest of the players in the game overall. There's a lot of information, but the point about this is not the game. The point about this is how quickly it puts information in front of you that you can make decisions from. And this is the real-time nature. And for me, the passion I have around this conversation is we want as much as possible to see our business in the same frame, to have visualizations or ways to understand where I'm tracking at the moment. My sales are down. And yes, we look over periods of time, but we also during the operational day need to be able to see this information. So this is what's fast becoming the standard, and systems out there today, good systems again, allow for this and support this. So I hope that makes some sense, Marie, as an analogy.
That's a great analogy, Rob. So there is really a need for people to get much more information from the world around them. So other than just financial report that's 2 weeks old.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, let's close this bit off with we talked earlier about the benefits. So let's just test how we went with our analogy around that. So this is why people need information. We have to change because we want live and accurate reporting. So clearly my game analogy has that. We want faster decision making. Now, these kids that are playing it, my kids are 15 and 12 without giving too much away. They kill me on these things now. Their brain just is tuned to think differently. But interesting enough, their expectations of how information is presented to them is much higher than mine. And they're entering the workforce in the next phase, and they're going to be a problem for organizations that aren't set up to work that way as such. But, they're empowered, the people playing this game. Obviously, they collaborate. As I said, you can talk to them at the same time. You can see where your other players are at. You can see where they are on the map. You can see them in front of you as such. Certainly, it's got all the data across the game presented in a nice, consumable way. And finally, visualization. I hope anybody would disagree that it's a very visual way to see where they're tracking at that point in time. I could probably have gone through and ticked off a few more here as such, but I actually think that makes the point I was looking to make.